The views and opinions expressed by John and DJ do not reflect those of any intelligent or rational human being and are solely the property of the Brightside Chat.
This show is a proud member of the Nerdy Legion Podcast Network. Get more at nerdylegion.com. Enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Bright Side and issue number 173.1.
You sure about that?
Nope. Not sure about that at all. We'll have that in Mailbag too. Apparently last week after we just talked, we'll talk about it in Mailbag, but
You gaffed.
I gaffed. Ooh, sounds weird.
Yeah.
Big week this week. We got a few in Mailbag. We got multiple books that we need to discuss. I have a huge real world for you.
All right.
My friend.
Okay.
And all the listeners. So, it'll be quick though because we've already discussed all the stuff. But I do think I have a new show for you. I think you'll be really happy to check out. It should take you a little bit of while, maybe a couple 2-3 hours. But yeah, so we got lots to get to. You said you don't have that much real world, so maybe I'll balance it out, John. Maybe the tides are turning, my friend.
Maybe. I gotta get back in my groove.
Yeah, back on the old couch horse.
That's right.
Sitting still.
Gotta get off the horse and back on the couch.
There you go. Well, you are in Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to get into the store?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the store. Sweet sounds of the chime. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How's the store doing? It sounds great.
Super busy.
Super busy.
Yeah. Actually, I had a really good week last week. Spring break was pretty good to me. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot you guys have that spring break thing down there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Last couple of years probably weren't too good, huh? With COVID for spring break.
No, not really. They were nobody was even in school for the first 2 years of it, right? So
right.
There was no real break. I mean, I guess they had breaks, but they were still at home. So
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a good week for me. So. Can't
Other
complain.
than your deliveries.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
I got your message. I got your message at the same time you texted me. You texted me like, "Hey, I'm ready early today." I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And then I get your email from that you send out to the customers.
That's why I'm ready early today.
You're like I'm ready at like 1.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, that is not good."
Well, so a couple things played into that. Like, I usually do all 3 shipments on Tuesdays. Training a new guy, and I want him to be really comfortable doing it. But yesterday, when I was unpacking Marvel, I noticed a bunch of damaged books.
Oh
and no! I mean a lot, like 70 plus books were damaged, and so I wanted to get those reported as soon as possible, so I had the best chance of getting them replaced. So I went ahead and I received Marvel yesterday. So that was one less thing for me to do today.
Yeah.
And then Diamond decided they just didn't want to attempt to deliver today because I literally was in the store and watched the guy sit in the parking lot and then just drive away and then put a note up saying, "We attempted delivery, but nobody was there." And I'm like, I watched you, man. Like, I was there, So
did he not knock? Would he just walk up, stick a sign, and leave?
So it was before the store opened. I got there about 20 minutes before the store opened. I was counting out my deposit and stuff, and I saw the truck pull up to the front of the store. So I was like, oh, great. He's going to be here early today. But thinking back to what happened last week, I was like, I don't want him to come up and try the door and see that it's locked and then just go away. So I went over, I unlocked the front door, opened the front door so he could see that I unlocked it, and then went back to counting my deposit. And he sits there and sits there and sits there, and I'm thinking he's probably just digging in the back of his truck looking for the boxes. And then all of a sudden I hear the truck, I hear him light the ignition, again. And I was like, oh, wait, what's he doing? And I ran to the door as he starts driving away. And like, I opened my door and I'm like waving my arms at him, trying to get his attention. And he just kept going. And I was like,
man.
So then I'm thinking, well, maybe this was just another driver and this wasn't my actual delivery, right? I was like, maybe he just, had to take a nap or something, whatever. And, but then I go to check my tracking numbers and it says delivery attempted, business closed, will deliver tomorrow. And I was like, son of a, what are you talking about? Like, I was there, No. I didn't have the lights on, but the door was open. He didn't come put a note on my door. He didn't do anything. He just drove away. So
no, he walked up, he saw your business hours and was like, oh, well, I'm out. And he didn't pay attention to anything else.
He didn't even attempt to make a delivery. So I'll be talking to my regular guy tomorrow. And then now it's like, what time do I go in tomorrow? Like, am I going to miss my delivery again? 'Cause that's twice now in 2 weeks that they have not honored my, my store hours,
right,
to make these deliveries. Last week it caused all kinds of hassle with that one box. So hopefully I don't have a similar situation this week. But
yeah, and it's not like you're stocking the shelves with like things that can just go behind other things. Like, oh, I'm a little bit over. I mean, this is timely stuff. People want this stuff. It costs you money.
So now I open tomorrow with like only half of my Marvel because half of it was damaged. No Diamond, and like just a small selection of DC because they don't put out that many books. So it's like, my sales are really going to suffer tomorrow. I should have Diamond hopefully tomorrow, but I won't have it when the store opens, which is when I get a big chunk of my customers.
Right.
And then I won't have Marvel for several days still. So these things, they don't really realize how big of a imposition it is when this stuff doesn't show up on time.
Yep.
So
people don't realize.
So I was like, well, all we have to check in today, my guy talking to my guy Devin, is like, we only have DC, and it's only about 50 books total.
Yeah.
So he gets in at noon. I was like, let's get this checked in. And then I actually just like kept myself busy for like another 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm going home, man. Here you go. So.
Yeah, then you came home and you
I came home and I started messing around with my speakers because I thought I had a little bit more time before you were going to be ready. And then you texted me and said, I'm ready. I said, okay.
All right, let me get down off the ladder.
Let me put this ladder away and get ready to record.
Yeah. Yeah, so nice, comfortable early afternoon conversation.
Yeah, we'll be able to have dinner.
Dinner on time.
The wives get home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. Are you ready to get to some mailbag?
Sure.
We got a few this week. John, I want really
4+?
Yep.
Am I in business?
You are trucking.
Am I going to be a happy camper this week?
You are a happy camper. You are trucking this week, my friend.
All right.
You are trucking. All right. Let's get to it. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? First up. Oh, Martin Anderson replying to last week's at Brightside_chat and at Arkham Comics. Yeah, DJ, Derek is sad sometimes, but it's also a very funny show. Give it a couple of episodes. It's always give it a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of episodes, and I'll bet it will grow on you like a fungus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not usually the best of endorsements. Like if it takes multiple episodes to get into something, I generally don't give it that time.
Yeah.
But, look back to like
Karate Kid.
Look back to like Seinfeld, right? Like Seinfeld goes down as like one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, but it didn't start out that way.
But here's where it comes to like that was a different time though. That was
nowadays it wouldn't have even got that chance.
Right. You wouldn't even Seinfeld would have Cheers was like it that wasn't a couple episodes. Cheers, for people out there, Cheers is a show that was set in a bar in Boston, right, where everybody knows your name.
Right. Norm,
yeah. But yeah, so Cheers, it took seasons for that to come out of the cellar. And this was, and for everybody else out there, people in the South, cellars are the places that we go to for our home theaters.
Exactly. Wishing we had one in Texas. Cause
I know. Everything's on a slab.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it took but we only had 3 channels. And yes, when Seinfeld came out, we had cable TV. But for all intents and purposes, we were still on the 3 channels. Fox had just come into play a few years earlier. So you added that 4th network. But then we really didn't have much else other than you could go to HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, the movie channel, stuff like that. But for your Nelson ratings television, there wasn't much competition. So you had time to get a show to breathe. And now, if you're, especially streaming services, you come in and go,
that show would have been canceled after like 3 episodes and they'd be gone,
I know.
So.
Can you imagine pitching Seinfeld? It's a show about nothing. Well, then you've got nothing. Come back to us because nobody's going to go for that. And I mean, that's what makes it great to this day, but and I'm not making fun of Martin or the show either. It's just, we say that. You really can't say that in comic books. And I think that's how streaming is getting too, because there's comic books. It's like, if it doesn't grab you right away, there's a ton of comic books on the shelves, right? Same with streaming now. It's not grabbing you. It's, you're really not. Honestly, I'll talk about it in real world, but there's a show very much like that I'm very happy with right now, but it took a while to grab me and I stuck it through, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so. See that? Tons of conversations just off of these one little comments, John.
I know. Funny. If we didn't have mailbag anymore, we wouldn't even have a show.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute show. What'd you read? Nothing. Okay. See you.
Nothing? What'd you watch? Nothing? All right. See you next week.
Your books didn't come in.
Yeah.
We're stretching the show with how books didn't show up.
Yeah.
No. On YouTube, Carl, still working that trophy theater here. Because we were talking about trophy wives and we have trophy theaters. Yep. He's working on his trophy theater. So
nice.
I know the logistics of his theater, and it is going to be one hell of a trophy theater.
Oh,
and
nice.
Especially if you like black, John. Everything looks good in black. Well, his theater is going to be absolutely amazing when it's done. You're not going to be able to see a goddamn thing when you're in there. But
right. It's all black.
But it's all black. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this thing to be done and see the pictures. But yeah, really excited for that. Our home theater minute, more to come.
Yeah.
Tom Bellows. This was actually a couple weeks ago. There's a DM from our buddy Tom, and he says, boy, the CW Flash has really gone to language. Oh. He actually wrote it out. So I figure I'll give him his language. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I reply, I haven't watched a single episode this season.
I haven't watched it since like last season, really.
Yeah. I watched, I think, half of last season, and then I was going to pick it up and go right into this season. I really haven't. The CW, to me, I just really haven't. Have you watched any of Superman and Lois?
That's the only one I'm still watching. I'm caught up on
I want
that.
to, but how is it? I haven't seen a single episode of that. Is it great?
It's actually really good, yeah. I enjoy it.
You should have mentioned that in Real World.
Oh,
I would have jumped on it. But yeah, I forgot it was even out.
About it 2 years ago when it came out.
I know. Well, it was last year. It came out last year. BJ,
yeah, no, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep meaning to, but then I'm like, you always find something else, like we were saying before.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't miss it necessarily, but that's not an indictment on the show. It's just there's so much to watch.
It's an indictment on the great time we're in right now for content. Take this podcast, for instance. More great content for people.
Exactly. Also wouldn't miss it? No.
Yep. No, that's what's funny. When we go away, we do get comments. Where'd you guys go? And sometimes, apparently, we're not even showing up everywhere all the time. So that was a
that's
conversation. Crazy. But BJ Horton 2005 at Brightside_chat. Yay! I inspired another episode name. He says, at the beginning, you said issue 173, but it was 172. Also, just watched the Peacemaker episode with all the smiles. Hilarious. Yes. But yeah, so last week, I don't know why, you and I had the conversation. What episode? Right before we hit record, we have the conversation. What episode is it, right? Okay, it's 172. So then in my show notes for the following week, I already changed it to 173. Because I'm like, I use the same notes every week. I just keep, delete, add this week's notes, right?
Too. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I'll be ahead of the game and I'll put in 170. Literally seconds. I'm like typing it as the pre-show is playing. And I'm like typing it. And then I'm like, okay, here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Bright Side. Issue number. And I read it, 173. And I'm like, I just typed it knowing I was going to say 172. So.
And see, I didn't catch it when you did it live, but when I listened back to the show, I was like, wait a minute, that's not right.
That's not right. Yeah. And I didn't even know it until I saw BJ's tweet and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even know I screwed it up and I didn't even listen. I didn't even hear it when I said it. Let's be honest, John, you're not really listening during the show. You waiting because you want the show to be fresh when you hear it later.
Yes, exactly.
You don't even know what you said half the time.
Most of the time, yeah, but it's not because I'm not listening. It's because I'm not mentally prepared to be there.
To hear your own stuff. I can't wait to hear what I had to say tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's John.
What kind of garbage did I spew out last week?
Yeah. All right. Carl with an email says Daniel Johnson exclusive variants, and he just showed me he sent an email forwarding his shipping for this week. Saga, Human Target, Department of Truth coming out, but a Daniel Johnson exclusive variants. I don't even know what that pertains to. Do you?
No, I don't.
I don't know what book that is. Yeah. He just said he's just got that coming in this week along with some other stuff. So I was like kind of interested. I want to know, Carl, what's the Daniel Johnson exclusive variants that you are getting? Inquiring minds want to know, John.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey. Notice the National Enquirer went away since we got Twitter.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's what it is, right? It's like, imagine if you could communicate with what's on the end rack at the grocery store. Hello, Twitter. It's like,
I think it's still there in the grocery store, though. If you look, I think I saw it.
I'm sure it is, but
yeah, I mean nobody's buying it or talking about it. But
no, that's
I think they still put it out.
Yeah, let's go on Twitter. It's like that can't be real.
Yeah,
but go on Twitter.
Twitter is the cesspool of the internet.
Yep, it is. I like to wait around there. I just keep pushing all the cess away.
Right.
What is cess? And why is that a pool?
I don't know.
I don't know. Cess is a bad...
the mud and the muck.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you'll find a lot of great comic book talk and home theater talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Storyteller at New X Guy says, Sunday evening entertainment, hashtag getting the word out. And he tweeted Brightside Comics Chat, issue number 172, BJ and the Bear, and with our image and everything, getting the word out to everybody. This is what he does for Sunday entertainment. That's awesome. More of an indictment on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might need to expand your horizons a little bit if we're the best you can do. But
well, I replied.
I appreciate the listen.
I appreciate the support. Looks like you're going to need some support. No, I go, hey, when I was a kid, we used to watch Disney's like movie of the week on Sunday nights.
Yeah, Escape from Witch Mountain.
Yeah, Escape from Witch Mountain. That's the one that came to mind for me. That and the Twins one. What was the twin? Do you remember the twins? Their parents were separated and they want to get their parents back together. That was a Disney movie.
I don't remember that one. I mean, I remember Freaky Friday and Escape from Witch Mountain are the two big ones.
Herbie was always a good one. I couldn't wait for a Herbie episode. But But yeah, Escape from Witch Mountain. It was spooky, right?
Yeah.
Like when you were a kid, you're like, oh,
It was. Yeah.
and you got to stay up
Now
late.
I haven't. You know, if I looked at it now, I'd be like, oh, jeez.
So we have Escape from Witch Mountain. We have what was the twins one? It's killing me.
Don't know.
We had that, and now we have Brightside Chat. I mean, that's a thing. There you go.
Right up there in
Sunday
good company.
evenings, get a fire going. Everybody sit around, listen to the Brightside Chat.
There you go. Make your s'mores.
Make your s'mores. All right, and that should do it. That's it for mailbag this week.
All right.
I thought there was one more, but I guess there isn't. Nope, that's it. There you go. That is the mailbag, John. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. There you go. You're trucking.
All right.
Yeah,
More than
happy.
4.
You're a happy camper. That's 6. So
All right.
good times. Good times.
Can I carry the 2?
Nope.
I guess
Nope.
that's a discussion
Nope.
I have to have with.
Nope.
my wife.
Unfortunately, you can't save some for later. It's, there's a
man.
phrase I want to say, but it's not appropriate for this show.
Okay.
You can't hold it back. You have to,
All right.
Oh, all right. Are you ready to get to some breaking news then?
Sure.
All right. Breaking news.
All right. This should be a surprise to no one, but it looks like there is a Daredevil reboot in the works at Marvel. It is
Say
on
it
their
ain't so.
upcoming production schedule. Don't know whether it's a movie or a series at this point, but
Come on. What do we
but again-
want, John? What do we want? What
well,
are they-
I want season 4 is what I want.
know.
But we might get a movie,
You know what would be so
and I
great?
guess I'll have to slum it and go watch the movie, but
I don't
I'd rather have season 3 of the show.
Yeah, I think that's what
Season
we'll get.
4 rather.
You know what I think would be fun? Is if instead they came out with season 5 and we all go, where'd 4 go? Mm-mm. We'll get that later.
No.
Because there's been such a time lapse. And be like,
Right.
oh, it's in the multiverse somewhere. We're
There you
getting
go.
5 next. See? Wouldn't that be creative? And
It would be.
And you would be so angry.
Wouldn't that still just be season 4 though?
Yeah, we could title it whatever we want, though.
Because it's kind of like you go to McDonald's now, they don't have medium drinks, they just have small, large, and extra large. Well, doesn't that just make large the medium?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So,
that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't understand that. Yeah, why would you do that?
right.
Like,
So,
yeah, so yeah. Why didn't you call them medium, large, and extra large? Why didn't you drop the small?
right.
Call it whatever the hell you want.
Just right. Just I guess whatever you can charge more for.
Call it big, bigger, and biggest.
But then they're all 99 cents, which also kills me because it's like if all sizes are the
Are
same
you kidding
price-
me?
Well, they don't. I don't know. I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time, but for
I
a
was
long
just saying
time,
they're all the same
they
price.
had-
Then why don't you just say I want a Coke? They just
Well,
give
right,
you a
just-
soda cup and you fill it as much as you want.
Well, right. Why would I ever get a small when I can get like the Tubbo Coke for the same price? Like,
No wonder why you can't make it through a movie without peeing.
unless it won't fit in my cup holder, that might be the only reason.
I'll
Right?
take a
But-
Tubbo Coke.
Tubbo Coke.
Tubbo Coke.
But
Keep drinking those, and I know what your nickname's going to be.
yeah,
Oh, all right. That was interesting segue off a Daredevil reboot.
it was. I don't know how we get where we get to sometimes.
I don't
but
either. That's
we
why it's
get-
called
we
chat.
Get there. Yep.
Brightside
As long as we
chat.
find our way back.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Speaking of finding our way back, where are we?
Yeah. Euphoria's Sydney Sweeney has joined the cast of the Madam Web movie for Sony. This
Okay.
just made the movie infinitely more interesting to me because
Well,
I
mean,
happen to find her attractive, but
most of the Euphoria cast is.
yes,
Actually, I'm trying to think of one that isn't.
yeah, it's hard.
It's hard to find one. No.
Yeah.
Really, we're still plugging our way through that one, of course.
Yeah.
You know us.
No word yet on who she's going to play. Early rumors are like Gwen or like Jessica Drew, like Spider-Woman.
Oh
one of those
yeah,
characters, but we don't know who she's going to be yet. So,
cool.
yep,
That should be good.
should be good.
More Marvel news.
More Marvel news. Don Cheadle is going to return for Marvel's Secret Invasion series. So that's good. Like we're pretty sure we were going to get him back in the Armor Wars show, but it looks like he'll return even earlier than that for Secret Invasion. So,
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I never want to see Don Cheadle go away. I love him in this
No.
stuff. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's hysterical.
He is.
I'm one of a lot of people. What was his name that played the role first?
Terrence Howard.
Yes. And everyone's like disappointed he left. And I'm like, I thought he was good. And I think he would have been great if he kept going.
Exactly.
But I didn't miss him.
it's-
And I honestly, when they cast Don Cheadle, I was like, ooh, I thought that was an upgrade.
Yeah, I like Don Cheadle a lot. I mean, again, if Terrence Howard had stayed in the role, he would have been great. Everything would have been fine. But yeah, I didn't miss him because Don Cheadle's awesome.
Yeah, he is. I think he's great. And let me ask you this. Iron Man was the first Marvel movie
Right.
by Marvel Studios, right? We had Spider-Man.
Right,
Those are all
yeah.
Marvel characters. But this was the first one by Marvel Studios. And what made that one, and still to this day, to me, makes it high ranking is because it set the stage for basically the world we're living in right now, the MCU.
Right.
Do you think Terrence Howard kind of screwed up?
Oh,
Like, do you think? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I think he just thought it was like, this is a comic book movie, and if you want me, you're going to have to pay more. And because it was a negotiation thing. And they
Yeah, I
were
was
like,
gonna say I don't know what all the details are, but I
I
get the
heard-
sense that he kind of shot himself in the foot with it.
yeah. And do you
So-
think he looks back on that and goes, huh, I had the role?
Yeah, I mean he's gone on to a couple of TV series since then, and I'm sure he's not hurting.
I'm not
But-
saying he's hurting, but I
But
mean,
yeah, the MCU is arguably the biggest thing in pop culture for the last decade. So
right.
I think
I don't, and a lot of people would say in the past, I think with the amount of content that we have, it's a lot easier for actors now to avoid that typecasting type thing, right? So, like, it's not like this has hurt Don Cheadle either. It's not
Right.
like everybody's like, oh, we can't have him show up because you know him from the MC. It's just the same guy. There's so much stuff right now that the only thing making people like be typecast is their acting ability.
Right.
See Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
You
Ryan
know,
Reynolds is just
You know
Ryan
what I mean?
Reynolds.
Or The Rock, or,
Yeah.
but that's just who kind of, but Don Cheadle's like a great, he can show up anywhere and
Right.
act the crap out of it. And, I just think, and so can Terrence Howard.
Yeah, but I think if you tell Terrence Howard, look, you're going to be in these movies for a decade, and then you're going to have your own show on Disney Plus, he might have made some different decisions. So
Yeah, but they didn't know that then. And he was banking.
No, they didn't,
He was
but I'm just
banking on
saying,
himself. And
yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
hey, not a bad thing. I don't think either guy
hey,
did
man,
wrong.
everybody.
but, yeah.
If you don't bet on yourself, nobody else will. But
Nope.
um,
I bet on
what's
myself
the
all
guy-
the time. I keep
oh,
losing. but
what's the name of the guy I'm thinking of from NYPD Blue? What's his name? He left after the
Stipowitz?
first season.
no.
No, the other one. He left after the first season, and then he ended up doing CSI Miami. For
Oh,
like 10
yeah.
years.
What's his
name?
Yeah, and he was in First Blood. Oh, the redhead.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're killing me.
can't think of his name, but
I
anyway,
know.
he leaves this successful show after one season because he thinks he's going to go be a movie star, and then stars in a couple of flops, and then goes back and does another TV show for a decade.
Yeah.
So
Hang on. Where is
I
it?
know it's killing me now that I can't think of his name, but
David Caruso.
David Caruso, yeah.
David Caruso.
Well, or Shelley. I mean, Shelley Long. Like Shelley Long left Cheers again. Cheers was a show.
Yeah. What was their big hit? The Brady Bunch?
Yeah. Well, oh man. Well, there's so many examples. What's his name too from MASH? Lieutenant Blake, and then he went on to do Hello Larry for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, all these guys, they think they're destined for bigger things than they really are. So
that's why I never left chat. That's why I never left chat, and I just started Hope Theater on my own.
Yeah, I wasn't destined for greater things.
I was never destined for greatness.
I didn't bet on myself.
I did bet on myself. I'm like, I'm not stupid. Oh boy. I don't even know what's funny about that. It's like,
yeah.
All right. We're 3 in. Okay. Up next, we're stepping out of the Marvel universe just for a second.
So then we can get right. I should have ordered these the other way, but I don't want to mess up your pictures.
It's just how they come in. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which hasn't even aired season 1 yet, starts in a couple of weeks, has cast their James T. Kirk for season 2. Paul Wesley, who played on Vampire Diaries for like 100 seasons, is going to be James Kirk. This annoys me a bit because this show shouldn't be about, like, I don't need the original series again. Like, we've already had Star Trek. Like, we already have Spock on this show, and this is supposed to be Spock's adventures with Captain Pike before he was assigned to the Enterprise. I don't need James Kirk until like season 5 or 6 of this show. You know what I mean? Because if this just becomes a reboot of Star Trek, the original series, like, we've already seen that, and we've already seen these movies. I just don't want Kirk to overshadow the rest of the show. So it bugs me a bit for a show I haven't seen yet, and I don't
John,
know.
you would not be yourself if you weren't bugged by something that you have like 2% of the information on.
Well, but the thing is, you could say that season 2 of Discovery was ultimately a pilot for this show because it featured all these characters that spun out of it, to do this show. But knowing the history of Star Trek, like I do, not necessarily yourself, but
no, I know,
but the Enterprise was Spock's second posting, and he had years on this ship with Captain Pike, and I wanted to see that. I didn't want it to just bump into Kirk already. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I haven't read anything, but do the articles say that he's like going to be a mainstay on the show, or is he just cast as somebody that's going to be like, hi, and here's their first? Because I think isn't that something that people want to see though?
Well, again, maybe in season 3 or 4, after you've gotten, a couple of seasons of adventures with Spock and Pike and, that cast. I don't know what his role is specifically in the show, but I don't imagine you cast, not like Paul Wesley is like, he's not Brad Pitt or anything, but I mean, he was on TV for a long time. Like, you don't cast this guy just to be a cameo for half an episode and then disappear,
Right.
I mean, you can get anybody for that.
There's also the opportunity that, like, all right, in the first season you're going to have a cameo, but after that it's going to develop into this, and then you never know.
I don't know. Again, just my bias. I have no knowledge of any of this, but I just feel like it's.
No, I actually agree with you.
I just think it's early for Kirk.
Yeah. As you're speculating, I agree with you. But we just don't know if that's what's actually going to happen yet.
No, we don't.
So, but we will see. That's what we always say. When's that show coming out?
I'm going to watch it either way.
Right.
Couple of, I think before May. Like, I'm not sure exactly when it comes out, but it's coming soon.
This year?
Season 1. Yeah, season 1 is coming soon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly. Discovery just wrapped up its season finale last week. So,
yeah.
I don't know how big of a gap there is in between. We do still have Picard for 4 or 5 more weeks. So,
okay. Cool. All right. And what's next? We have here we go.
Back to Marvel. Yep. This is a quick one though. Just although we did get the trailer we could talk about, but Miss Marvel is coming to Disney Plus on June 8th. So, this was actually supposed to come out initially at the end of 2021. So been pushed a couple of times, but now it looks like we finally have the
Still
firm
not as bad
date.
as DC.
No, not as bad as
Yeah.
the Flash. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the trailer looks good. It looks fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like they're trying to do something a little different.
Yeah.
Similar to what they did with Loki, what they did with WandaVision. It looks like they're trying to, bring you something in a different format that we're used to. Slightly different.
Right.
But
right.
Always down for that. Because,
Yep.
That's how we roll.
Exactly.
Bringing out some new lingo. Try to freshen the show up a little bit. All right.
All right. And then last but not least, Paul Dano, who played the Riddler in The Batman, is going to write a Riddler Year One prequel comic. So featuring his character from the movie.
When I saw this is my favorite piece of news for the week.
Yeah.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, it should be
just leave
fun.
that
I don't
hanging
know.
there.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what kind of writer Paul Dano. Like, I don't know what his credentials are to write this story, but yeah, I mean, I like the character in the movie, so I'm definitely interested. I don't know if it's my favorite news of the bunch, but
see what I love about it is that he puts I'm imagining this is why I like it. I'm imagining he puts so much effort into researching this character and put so much effort into playing this character that he's like, I want to write this. I want to do more. He needs artistically, he needs an outlet. And he's like, I'm going to write it. What could I do? And it's like, I'll do a comic of it. And I think that's fantastic. I don't know how the comic's going to be, but I just love the idea that he came into this as an actor and he's coming out of it as a comic book writer because he just loved the character. He loved, like, he felt like there's something there that I like, he's got an itch now. And he's like, I want to do more with this character. And it's just, that to me that's just so awesome, about like these characters and how people want, I just think that's so much fun. And I'm interested in it, and I'm going to give it every, opportunity to read it. Like, meaning like
Oh, for sure.
I don't think I'm going to judge it super hard. I would just be like, yeah, but he's an actor, right. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad either, but I'm like, oh, this looks like garbage. This looks like it should be on the refrigerator. I'm just saying it's like super excited for that. I can't wait I just hope when it comes out, I remember.
Well, I'm sure
I'll be like, this is crap. Oh, that's the actor.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No, I'm really happy for him. I'm excited for this. So, as you can tell.
Yeah. No, I think it should be good. I'm not as excited as you are, but I think it should be good. But to be fair, I'm rarely as excited as you are about most things.
About anything.
So, yeah. So that's not really saying much.
I should tweet out some screen grabs of our texts. I can't wait for today's show. Yup. or I get the thumbs up.
Yeah. What else do you want me to say? That's my acknowledgement that I can't wait either.
Yes. Yes, I heard you, DJ. Oh, nobody's ever as excited as I am.
No.
So sad.
Lots of people get thumbs up in return from me.
I bet they do.
It's my number one emoji.
I know. It's like, yeah, yay. It's like, okay.
It's a catch-all. It could mean a lot of things.
Yes, it could. I know. And I always take it the bad way. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I'll leave you alone.
It means correctamundo.
Correctamundo. All right, Fonzie.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What are we up to now? What are we getting on to? We're getting into checkout?
I think we're at checkout. Yeah.
Look at us cooking right along. John, what did we spend our money on last week?
All right. So we're going to talk about 2 books.
Well, we're going to talk about 3. But
Well, you're right, but we have 2 books in consideration for the title, I guess.
only
And this
2
went
make the list. But
This went exactly the way I expected it to go. Out of
Did
the
it?
3 books we were going to read, yes.
okay,
did.
this is going to be fun.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
first book is from DC Comics, Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 1. It was written by Mark Waid, had art by Dan Mora. So this is just, exactly what you think it is, right? It's a team up between Superman and Batman. I couldn't tell, and it wasn't explicitly stated, but I think this is back at the time where Dick Grayson was Robin. Although they never came out and said who, which Robin was featured in this book. But yeah, Batman ends up in Metropolis fighting Poison Ivy. They end up fighting Metallo. Superman gets dosed with red kryptonite. It was just a book. Like, it wasn't anything like groundbreaking or anything, but it was fun. It was a fun team up with
blast.
Batman and Superman. I thought the art was fantastic. Dan Mora had a great interpretation of all of these. The reason why I think it was the Dick Grayson Robin was some of the quips. He was a little Spider-Man-ish,
Yes.
Because every time it was like, oh, it's Batman, and he would pop up. It was almost like his head would pop up in the side of the panel and say, and Robin.
And Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it had a question mark. He was like, and Robin, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
But everybody was here. Penguin was here. Like I said, Ivy was here, Metallo. It was a lot of fun. But, the gist of it is that Superman gets dosed with red kryptonite. If you know anything about red kryptonite, it has unpredictable results with him. And he was dosed with multiple, it was a concoction of multiple pieces of red kryptonite. So, they've got to basically, rein him in before he does wreaks too much havoc. They bring the Doom Patrol in to help out with this. So yeah, this was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of characters. Everybody was in. Superman and Batman actually, getting along and having respect for each other. Unlike, the way they're portrayed a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a fun book. Like I said, it didn't do anything like groundbreaking or anything, but it was just a lot of fun.
Can I push back on that groundbreaking thing a little bit?
Sure.
It's not the first time done in history, but it felt like the first time in a long time that this felt like you could grab it off like when we were kids. You just liked the cover of it off the spinner rack, and you were like, I can read this. You don't need any history. We all know who's... Right. But it had background of everything in here.
It did. Yeah.
Even like the Batman Superman relationship. Hey, years earlier, they flash back for you for a second.
Right, and it pays off for
Yeah, and it was
pays
just
off later.
My pushback in that it's not groundbreaking is that everything nowadays is part of a universe. It's part of we've got to pay attention to all of this stuff. And this felt like it was a one-off, and I got to the end of it, and I was like, oh, there's going to be more. I'm like, okay, this is...
There are, but you are right in the sense that I wish there were more comics like this.
Yeah.
Like, a new reader can come in and say, hey, I'm looking to get into comics. What can I read? Read this, because you don't have to know all the complicated history of anybody. There weren't 10 series before it that you have to,
Yeah, as long as you have a working knowledge of DC. And if you don't,
I would argue, you don't even
it.
necessarily have to know who Batman or Superman were. I don't know.
Doom Patrol, and there's some
maybe
characters
the Doom Patrol popping
but
in, but
the book is good. It is well enough written that you'd realize who these people were, and if you didn't, they're a Google away, and you could find that out. But it's enough to make you spark enough intrigue to go, hey, I even like the way it ends. Like a little bit of mystery there. You're like, oh, what are they going to do here? And it's, I just, yeah. And that's why I felt like it felt, of all things, it felt fresh. It felt like this was a book we probably could have read when we were kids, and they just reprinted it.
Right.
which that to me is a little bit groundbreaking in this day and age.
Yeah, I guess. And there's not a lot of times where we're using the word fun in relation to comics anymore.
No.
A lot of the books we're reading are super dark, and there's a place for that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I like all types of comics, but they're all dark, they're all heavy, they're all dealing with these subject matters that are just depressing, and this was just fun.
Yeah. Exact opposite of the Punisher. The new Punisher that came out. I read that.
Or any other Batman book. For that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was. I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it, and I'll be recommending this to a lot of people that come in.
And like you said, the artwork, I love Batman in the old gray and blue.
Yeah.
That's fun. And I mean, I like the black. I love the, where the different costumes, uniforms, whatever, get-ups.
Well, right. And that's why I think it was nice. It was Dick also, because this is early. These are early in the careers of Batman and Superman, Robin.
Yeah.
So before they get to be morose.
Look at you dropping the big words.
Yeah, I know it.
All right. Bright side English. All right. You ready for the next one?
Next up, from Image Comics, we had Slumber, issue number 1. Written by Tyler Burton Smith. Had art by Vanessa
Cardinali.
Yep. Cardinali. Cover art by Nathan Fox. So this focuses around a character called Stetson, who is a nightmare hunter. Basically, she gets hired out to go into your dreams and fight the things that haunt you in your dreams. But there's kind of like a secondary running story going on that she's not necessarily aware of right off the bat. But that some of these people are being driven to commit murders in their sleep and then waking up and not having any knowledge of what they did or why they did it. And that's going to link back to something that she encountered in her past. She's looking for somebody in these dreams, and that person, I believe, is responsible for these murders that are taking place. I thought it was an interesting idea. The premise was interesting. The art did not speak to me at all. I didn't enjoy it, to put it mildly. But I thought that it was an interesting idea, and it was fun. But it was, like I said, the art kind of really put me off on this book. So
yeah, the art was a little, but it's dreams. So there were times I was like, okay, it was weird. It's like, I mean, what's funny is they always say you can't dream in color, but yet you get a dream sequences that look like this, where it looks like the color palette fell on the canvas.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what this art looks like. It's like, what color goes there? Oh, it slipped. Like, whoops.
Yeah, it's kind of very Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Like, it was bright.
Yeah, very bright, very everywhere. But I thought their portrayal of dreams was a lot of fun. You always say, that when you hear about dreams, it's like they seem real, but yet you were running through a field and then you were in a pool of marshmallows and it all seemed normal. It's like,
right.
You were there, but you weren't you. Well, what the hell? Who was I?
Right.
How was I there, but I wasn't me? And how'd you know it was me?
I was to say, how'd you know it was me if it wasn't me?
But that's crazy. But we all know that feeling though. Like, I'll be in a dream talking to you and I know it's you. It's John. But it doesn't look anything in my memory. It's so messed up. And they did a good job of that in this book, because there were panels and stuff. You're like, what the hell is going on? I thought that was fun. I'm wondering if the artwork was better, if it would just have been too horrifying. Like, if you drew this too realistically. Because I was thinking that when I was reading this book, I'm like, imagine making this into a show, like real life. You almost couldn't. it would be such a horror show. Like, and I think that's what was fun about the book is they did a good job of, at least for me, it put me in that realm. Like, there are times, even at the end of the book, I don't know if we're in what's reality and what's dream.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would have been okay with it if the dream sequences were done this way, if the rest of the book was done in a more realistic style, I guess.
But I don't think they want you to know.
Everybody has their styles. Everybody has their thing. And I hate to be an art critic because I know how hard it is to do art.
Right.
But and I can't do this, so I'm no one to one to criticize anybody. But I can't help what strikes me and what doesn't. It just it might be for somebody, but it's not. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with critiquing it to what you know. Like, you're a comic book store owner. So if you're like, I don't think this will sell to the masses, as an artist, I didn't, if that's me that did the art, I'd be like, well, I didn't mean it for that. But at the same time, if I'm trying to sell something to the masses, I need to listen to you.
Right.
But that's a different type of art. This
is
art that people do for themselves, and it doesn't need critiquing. Nobody asked for critiquing. You don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine.
Right.
But if you're trying to sell something, you're trying to make a living at it, and you're trying to, or whatever, you want it to be popular, and somebody critiques it, you go, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, hey, I'm just a customer, and those are the people you're trying to please.
Exactly.
So, you can't have it both ways, and we both know that all too well. Just like when we were kids. Remember putting your portfolio together for, to get into colleges? And we're like, but this is the kind of artist I am. And Mr. McPhee would be like, yeah, but that's not what anybody can do that.
That's not what they're looking for. Right.
Exactly. He's teaching you how to be, you have to learn how to do it right before you can screw it up and become the artist you want to be. And that's what he was doing. So you have to take those critiques if you're in that type of world. So I don't think it's bad for you to critique. Not that we do a ton of it here anyways, because we try to pick the books that we like, because we don't like to tell people that we don't like their stuff.
Right.
All right. Speaking of, apparently this didn't make the cut for you.
Carnage, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the details in front of me as far as the writer and the artist or anything like that. But this was the other potential book that we were going to talk about. The reason why I said it went the way I expected it to go was because I am not a Carnage or Venom fan necessarily, or reader. I don't find these characters that intriguing. Whereas I'm a Superman and Batman fan, right? Like,
right.
If you would have asked me to pick 2 out of 3 without reading any of them, it would have gone the way it went. But all that being said, I didn't find this book that good or that interesting either. Premise is like, you've got a guy who's out there committing murders trying to get the attention of Carnage because he wants to be the next host for the symbiote. And the symbiote is, out there doing what it does and is enjoying its freedom from having a host and is not really too interested in picking up this guy. So that's it, really. I mean, that's what I get out of it. Like I said, it didn't do a lot for me because I'm not a fan of these characters. I read Venom when Donny Cates wrote it because Donny Cates was writing it and I like his writing. Since the series is rebooted, I read the first issue and I haven't picked it up since because I just don't like these characters that much. So it's not necessarily, maybe the book is better than I give it credit for, but it's just not my thing. So,
see, I didn't mind it. I actually was pleasantly surprised because, like you, I'm not a huge Carnage fan, but I was like, I liked this story. It kind of grabbed me in that I was like, I want to see where this goes. And I read this. So of these 3 books, I always read what I think I'm going to like the least first. So that I always have, because you never want to read like the one is going to be your favorite. You read that first, and now everything after that's going to be a letdown. So it gives you that
suffer. Yeah.
Yeah. They all suffer in comparison. Right. So I was like, all right, let me read this one first. and I was like, wow, that was pretty good. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the artwork. I like the idea of like the serial killer type thing going on.
Right.
And I thought it was a fun story. Fun, I guess.
I guess fun. Yeah, fun in the sense that they're committing serial murders and
yeah. And yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. But then going on and reading the other two, it did drop to number 3 for me as well.
Right.
I'll take that back. I honestly think I liked this more than I liked Slumber number 1.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not necessarily that Slumber was better. It's just that we were locked into talking about Slumber.
Correct.
That,
and yes. So. And that's what I was thinking as I was reading. I'm like, oh, okay. So Slumber actually has to knock one of these out. So it was like, which out of the two? But if we had to pick our top, I think it would be, for me, it would be, Batman, Superman, Carnage, Slumber in that order.
Right.
But, so do we have a show title then?
Well, I think for me, it's Batman, Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
World's Finest. Yeah,
absolutely.
I just thought that was a blast. I thought it was great to read.
Is that monthly? Because I am looking forward to the next one.
And I think it's only like 5. It's not an ongoing, I don't believe. So it's just going to be a short series.
Right.
But yeah, it's monthly.
Cool. All right. Looking forward to that. So show title, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 1. Whew, wordy.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a mouthful.
Issue number 173, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 1.
Good thing you don't have to read that. You can just type it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a lot to type out, John, when you're hunting and pecking with 2 fingers.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got coming up next week?
Ghost Cage, issue number 1, from Image Comics.
Mm-hmm.
And then this next one, I'm actually really looking forward to reading. We Have Demons, issue number 1. This is the Scott Snyder, Capullo. Yeah. Now this is already, this has already been out in digital, but I haven't read any of it. So for me, it'll be new. But this is coming from Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah. So. Is that already out? I think it's already out on Comixology as like a...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was digital first. It's I think it's actually done on Comixology already. It was only 4 or 5 or 6 issues. It's just, again, it's a mini series.
I was going to say, because I thought I saw this before, being on, Comixology being my main store right now. Right. But yeah, this is just coming to stores now from Dark Horse. Just coming
to stores. So looking forward to that. I like that team a lot.
Yeah. Do you know anything about Ghost Cage?
No, not really.
A weird cover. Got a fantasy vibe, but almost a sci-fi fantasy vibe. Looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but
all right.
But yeah, it should be. I don't know. Looks interesting.
Yeah. Hey, we're always up for interesting. What else did you read?
I finished Sex Criminals.
Okay.
Now done with that. And then I started reading Dune. Not a comic, but I started reading the book.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Early on, like I haven't read that much of it yet, but just getting into it. But looking forward to it. Should be, well, I expect it to be good. So.
Yeah. I read Hit Me. I did read that.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I read that last week.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It was different than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good book. I like I said, I read the new Punisher.
So you mentioned Punisher.
Punisher number 1. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I think I might have, as per usual, I think I might have liked it more than you.
Well, no, I actually liked it too. But again, Punisher's another one of those characters that I'm not really the biggest fan of all the time.
Right.
But I don't know how long this will keep my attention, but I did like the first issue a lot.
Yeah. And like, I liked how it ended. I liked the story. I liked, again, like you, I'm not a huge Punisher fan. But I mean, I have a working knowledge of of him.
Yeah.
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 But this was, even if you're not like us, if you're not a huge Punisher fan and you don't know much past, Frank Castle, and maybe his real name like us,
Yeah.
but but the thing is it gets you into it pretty quickly, and even gives you a little bit of his background of anything that you might not have missed, but of him, and you'd be like, okay, this is a new story coming off the old background. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And in dark though. Fun dark.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
very dark. I mean, takes Punisher to a new level.
Yeah.
So, and I see some opportunities for some fun crossovers there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we
should be seeing Daredevil and Elektra.
Yes.
At minimum, because of the hand connection. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. When are we getting the new Daredevil books? Are we now that Zdarsky's done?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like Devil's Reign is wrapping up. May, maybe May or June. I mean, there's a couple of month break between Devil's Reign and when this one starts, but a couple of months.
Are we going back to number 1, or are they continuing?
I believe we are going back to number 1.
Oh, your favorite.
So, I know. You know how much I like that.
And who's writing that? It's somebody good too, isn't it? I forget. Obviously, because I asked.
Who's writing it?
Yeah.
Zdarsky.
He's continuing on Daredevil?
Same team, yeah. Marco Cicchetto and Chip Zdarsky. It's the same team as what we just
really
had.
He's writing Daredevil and Batman?
Yeah. Well, that was the original plan anyways. I don't know if the Batman news is going to derail that or not, because it is actually no longer. The Daredevil series is actually no longer in the solicitations from Marvel, so that might all be changing and going away because of the Batman news.
Right.
I don't know for sure.
I thought he was off of it. I thought he was done with it.
No, originally the plan was that he was coming back again with the same artist, same team. So that, like I said, that may have changed now.
See? So. This is why I ask these questions.
Yeah.
See? My ignorance is called entertainment.
I mean, it's definitely like we haven't pre-ordered it yet. So like right now we're already ordering for May, and it's not in the catalog for May. So
yeah, but you would the way they write these things, like the September books are done. So if Zdarsky wrote something, it has, or they didn't, and now nothing is going to be coming. That's the thing. There's no like halfway. I mean, May, it's like these books, they're not sitting there, you're not getting.
Again, these guys write more than one book per month. A lot of these writers write multiple books per month, but Batman is a high-profile gig for DC, so I don't know.
And that's coming in July.
Right.
And I mean, if a book's supposed to be coming in May, a Daredevil book is supposed to have been solicited, but now is being pulled. If it was supposed to be in May, there's no way that it has to be done right now.
Oh yeah. It would, at least the first couple of issues would
exactly.
Yeah, would be complete. So.
All right. Well, we'll wait on that. We'll see.
We will.
All right. Did you read anything else?
Sure I did, but nothing.
Again, nothing I read Nick's. I read.
I read. Like I said, I read a lot of books. But
I still haven't gotten to Kingspawn or Scorched yet. I haven't read those two yet, but I'm dying to.
Those.
I was gonna read those today when I got home, but you were ready.
Yeah, I was ready.
So let's go. All right.
All right.
You ready to move on to a little bit of real?
Sure.
All right. All right, John. Why don't you go first?
Yeah.
Because you always do.
Yeah, because I always do. So once again, not a big week for me. My wife was working and out of town again on Thursday, so I was left to my own devices once again. Thursday was also St. Patrick's Day, so I did a bit of self-medicating during the day.
Me too. Yeah, we
And
exchanged
then,
photographs
we did.
of beer. People
Yeah,
of beer.
beer wasn't the only thing I was enjoying though.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so I watched some soccer, and then when that was done, I was looking for something to watch, and I jumped into the animated DC rabbit hole on HBO Max and watched a couple of things that I hadn't seen yet. So I watched the Justice Society World War II.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What'd you think? I saw that a while ago.
I thought it was good. Yeah,
I gave that away as a disc.
Yeah, none of these are new things. I just hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. Finally got around to watching Killing Joke, which I hadn't watched.
How old is that? That's how I saw that
several years old.
Yeah,
several years old. Hell, I have the disc. I just never watched it. But I
have the
watched
disc
that.
And you watch it on HBO Max.
Well, because I was already there.
Right.
And I really didn't want
to get up off the couch.
I really didn't want to get up at that point. So I was there.
You're sitting on the couch like Mork, but all right.
Yeah. and then I watched Long Halloween, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
Like I said, nothing
fairly
new. It was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Pretty close to the book.
It was very close to the book. Killing Joke arguably is not close to the book.
No.
But Long Halloween was pretty faithful to the book.
Right.
So
Hush was different than the book that you knew when you were watching it. It was different. Right. By the end of it. Long Halloween it was different than the book. Just enough to make it that you didn't know. I liked how they did that. Right. So like I remember I watched 1 and 2 and then went back and read the book again. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, here's the differences. And there are differences. Right. But I think it's different enough to keep you as somebody that read it, keeps you on your toes. Right. And unless you had just put the book down, you'd be hard pressed to be like, okay, this.
Yeah, I didn't know, and like I said, I haven't read that in a while, and I didn't go back and reread it, so I'm not sure exactly what was different. But yeah, they did a really good job on that. So again, anybody that hasn't watched any of those, they're all really good. And then I watched a couple more episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. I'd kind of gotten away from that for a while, but I got myself into season 2 of that. It's pretty funny. I mentioned it before. It's Taika Waititi produces it. He doesn't star in it, but it's basically The Office with vampires. Right? They're just vampires being followed around by a film crew that's documenting their crazy things. And then so that was kind of what I watched on Thursday. And then Sunday, again, Lydia was home, but we spent most of the day just catching up on all the stuff we missed during the week. But we did finish Suspicion, which was on Apple TV. I don't know if you ever started that or not.
No, I haven't. We haven't started that one yet.
That one, it started better than it finished, I felt like. It kind of started to drag towards the end, but I still wanted to know who done it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't going to give up on it because they didn't reveal anything until the last episode. So you kind of had to stick in just to find out who it was. Yeah. But I think it started out more interesting than, like, the middle of the show kind of dragged a bit for me. Probably could have been an episode shorter. But overall, I think it was still pretty good. Not one of the best for Apple TV though, but they can't all be fantastic.
Winners.
Yeah. But like I said, still solid, I guess. And then you'll think this is funny. We watched Coda again.
A third time?
Sunday night. Well, Lydia was like kind of bothered that I watched it without her the other day.
Oh, really?
She likes it as well. So we were finishing up the rest of the shows, and I was actually going to put on like Free Guy or something because I still haven't seen that. And she's like, "Do you want to watch Coda again?" I was like, "Sure, let's watch that."
All right.
So watch
the
Coda
tissues.
again. So I watched it for the third time. She watched it for the second time. Yeah, it didn't strike me quite as hard this time because I had just watched it.
Yeah, think?
And I also wasn't medicated when I watched it. I still enjoy it just as much, but it didn't get me sobbing like it did the other day.
That's funny.
But again, that's one of those movies. Like I won't get tired of it. Like that'll be one of the things that I watch like once a year or so. Just because I really like. I might like it more than other people. Like you might not like it as much.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I just really like it.
I don't want to get into something that's going to make me that sad.
But it's not sad, dude. It's uplifting. It's more. It's happy tears, dude. It's not like sad. There's nothing sad about it. Nobody dies. Nobody's dog gets killed. It's nothing like that.
Right.
It's just I don't know. It hits the right chords for me. That
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
I just find it. Again, you might watch the whole thing and not even feel that way. Because Lydia's like it's not sad. I don't know why it gets to you. And it's like it just strikes me that way. Like you know what I mean? There's two scenes in it that just kind of get to me.
Yeah.
And it's like a father-daughter thing. And so it just strikes me that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't stay away from it because you think it's sad because it's not.
All right, I don't like emotional. I'm already an emotional wreck. I don't need to add to it. Sally Struthers.
And that's it. That's like I said, and we just got caught up on all the network shows that we watch. So that was it for me. Yep.
Have you seen Endgame on Peacock? Did you catch up on that?
Up until yesterday, I haven't watched last night's, but I'm caught up.
I think
up until then.
Yeah, I didn't see last week's, so I'm one behind you. But that one's still, I don't know. It's actually growing more on me. I liked it.
Yeah, I like
at
it.
the beginning, but it's getting actually a little bit smarter, and that's to say it started kind of low. Because you were like, oh, this is weird. But it was still entertaining, but now it's actually growing a little bit more on me.
Well, it's developing. Like, you know what the quote-unquote end game is at this point. Yeah, you're starting to figure it out. So
Yeah.
And again, you're realizing more and more that she has engineered the entire situation.
So much.
So.
Yeah, that's like.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love the idea of like, this is going back a couple episodes for you. She's captive,
right.
Marina Baccarin. She's the queen or whatever. She's captive, but yet they're putting out the videos of like what she's saying to the general public, which she recorded long before she got captured. So like, I just love that mental game that like, oh my God. And the people that have her captive, know, like they're watching the public and they're like, how the heck is she doing? Like she knew exactly what. And that's what I like about it. It's like, end game, which is chess, and that's kind of what she knew so many moves ahead on what was going to go down. And it's just, that to me is kind of fun, as unrealistic as it could be, but it's still kind of fun.
Right.
Inventing Anna. Have you guys started that yet?
No.
Oh,
like I said, my list at this point is getting pretty long.
Yeah. It is so aggravating.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't make me interested in it any more than
just like,
Coda is interesting to you.
But this is real. This is I think Coda is too. Coda's a true story, right?
I don't think so.
Are you sure? I thought that was.
I don't believe it is.
I thought it was. But this is real. And this person did that. And what's aggravating is you're like, it's so stressful because she's living this false life, and here everywhere she keeps getting called out on it. And it's all about money. She's just, it's just Jen and I, every episode we watch, we're just like, how is she doing this? And then, but But most of the show is a flashback because she's in prison and she's being interviewed. So then they go to flashback and show you what she went through and all the stress that she's going through. But then you're like, but she's already in prison and she's already kind of acting like a jerk there too. And you're just
right.
But it's really interesting that this could happen, that people can, scary to think. Let's see, before I get into my other stuff. Picard.
Yeah. I watched that.
I forget what this week's was. Oh, they actually went back. That's right. They went back in time.
Sorry. Alexis chimed in again.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know why, because I didn't call her.
Yeah.
But they basically went back to 2024 and
that's right.
Started their adventure. But there was all that stuff with the Borg Queen and the time travel and I thought it was good. I mean, I think it's fun. I like it.
Yeah. That's every Thursday. Can't wait for it. That one. And the other one I was going to say that I was talking about earlier, that it was a slow build, but it's so good now. The Expanse.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like watching it. I'm like, how did this get this many seasons? Because that first I just finished, I'm into season 3 now, and it's so good. It moves so much better that I just feel like, I'm like, wow. It
becomes a completely different show from season 1 and 2. And that's what I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
It changes direction to where you almost would think they were different shows.
That's what I mean. And it's like in the first season, comparatively,
I mean, and I liked them.
Yeah.
I liked the first couple seasons, but it got so much better as it went on.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's just so good right now. And it's like, if it wasn't for the hype from you and other listeners that have like, nope, you got to check it out. Because I have people on both podcasts, like, you got to, sci-fi, this, that, and I'm like, you got to check it out. And it is a lot of fun home theater wise and all that. So,
yeah. Are you into the Atmos stuff yet? You're in season 3 now?
I'm into season 3,
it might
but
be
it hasn't.
Season 4.
Yeah, but I've even jumped ahead to see if it'll trigger it, and nothing's triggered Atmos yet for me. And
Really?
Amazon's funky like that. So
yeah, I know, because remember I told you I thought the last season wasn't in Atmos?
Yeah.
And then like halfway through the season I was getting it. So obviously the whole season was, but it wasn't coming on for me.
Yeah.
But
same here.
I don't think it was until Amazon picked it up though. So season 3 or 4 is when they got it.
When they get Atmos and everything.
Yeah,
so,
that's when they,
I don't know.
That's when they get it. But
I'm sure once I get into that part, and then it just keeps playing. But right now, if I jump ahead, I don't know if it's triggering it or not. It's weird. But I mean, it all still sounds good. Everything.
It sounds great. It's
everything I've heard sounds great,
and it looks great. I mean, the production quality is really high on that show.
Yeah, it is pretty good. It is really good for the very blue. The blues on that show are very vibrant, and to the point that I'd be watching the show. I watched so much of it at one time that I'm like, I had to. That's what made me go and put my test discs in and stuff. I'm like, am I like oversaturated on the blue? And I'm like, nope, it's not. And then I look at everything else now, and I'm like, oh no, it's not oversaturation on the blue. I thought I had to recalibrate, but no, it's just the show. It's very blue. It's very they are very heavy on blue. Is very vibrant, but it's nice. It's cool. It's like, I mean, she went the. I don't know her name, but the older woman there, she wears that blue dress a lot.
Like that.
Yeah, she wears this royal blue dress and stuff, but the lights in the background have like a blue ring to them. It's very bright, but it's a pretty cool show, really cool show. Before I get into all my other stuff, actually, I'll save that one for last because it is a lot of fun. All right, you ready for this? I got my Kaleidoscape fired up.
I know.
Yep. I watched Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Matrix Resurrection, The Dark Knight.
You watched these full movies, or you watched pieces of these movies?
Full full movie of Star Wars, full movie of Empire Strikes Back, full movie of Spider-Man No Way Home, full movie of Avengers, most of Infinity War, most of Endgame, all of Matrix Resurrections.
So you watched a lot. I just wasn't sure if you were just jumping around or if you actually watched all of those.
No, and here's what's really fun. What I really liked about it is it's so simple to scroll around to these things. Some of these, like Star Wars, I watched front to back. Spider-Man No Way Home, I watched front to back. All the other ones, pretty much, maybe not. I'd watch like half or a quarter of it. Stop.
Jump to another one.
Go to another one. Watch that. But then you come right back to it. At any time you come back and go, just pick up from right where you left off.
Right.
And it's all just boom, 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 boom. And it's so simple to do. It's just like you literally click of a button. Boom. There's all my movies again. Boom. Back to that one. And I could do this. I could watch all of these movies. It took me like 4 days and broke them up. So it just, and I'm like looking at it for picture and sound, which will all be done on the other podcast. But oh my God, so much fun. And it's like, I'm trying not to buy all these movies. And you and I had that conversation, which will take place on the other podcast, but they look so good. They sound so good. And I'm just like addicted to the whole thing all over again.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave my theater. I'm just like, it's like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I know. We'll get you there, buddy. But see, I don't know. And we've had this conversation. I don't know if this is something for you. And I'd hate, I mean, this thing's super expensive. And this isn't something I would want you to regret buying. But at the same time, I would never regret buying it. I just don't know I would use it nearly as much as you do. I don't think you'd use as much as I just did the last week.
Right. I don't have time to watch all these movies all the time.
Over and over
unless
again.
it's Coda.
Yeah.
I'll watch
Does
Coda
it get
once a
Coda?
week. But
it actually doesn't. So
I was going to say, is it there? Because I'd buy that. But
yeah, no, I don't believe it is because it's an Apple TV product.
Right.
So that wouldn't be there. But it is so much fun. I mean, all those movies were just like new again, and it really were. And like I said, you'll find out on the other podcast. I've told you, and it's like it's scary. Yeah, so much fun. All right, the new show. Have you seen? Maybe you've seen it because it came out, I think, 2016. Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
I watched the first season. I don't think I've watched any more than that. It was like 4 or 5 seasons.
8
seasons.
There's 8 seasons, 76 episodes.
I watched like 1 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was so good. It's I'm like 4 episodes, something like that. It came up in my other podcast and I was like, oh, let me check that out. That was my conversation I had just on Sunday. The podcast literally came out today, Tuesday.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't even know it was on Netflix.
Oh, really?
But does it, since you've seen the first season, I thought it's hysterical. I mean, it has a very simple vibe for kids at the beginning, but then there is some fun adult humor in there and a lot of fun sarcasm and like I
don't remember. I watched it like 6 years ago, so I don't remember all of it.
For instance, though, that I'm glad you saw some of it, so I'm not really, but this isn't a spoiler. They're trying to learn how to use Voltron, right? How to activate the giant robot with all the lions. And they go out, and I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2, but they go out and they're doing their training and they put all their faces on the screen and they're like, all right, let's just fly in unison. They're like, yay! And they show them all on the screen, and then they all fly by again, and they go, yay! And then they all fly by again, and they go, yay! Because they can't trigger like Voltron,
right?
But it was so cool that they did exactly what you're thinking watching this. Like they're just flying back and forth, nothing's going on, and they're like, and then the big heavy guy goes, yay! Oh wait, am I the only one pretending? Still, but they do that real world stuff that I thought it was fun, and I was like, but it still had that vibe of when we were kids.
Right.
I felt like it still had the same feel, like after school, gotta get home and check this out. And
Yeah, I need to get back. I always meant to get back to that show, and I never did.
yeah, I'm addicted to it. I'm like, since Sunday, I think I started on Monday, yesterday. I'm 4 episodes in. The first episode's like over an hour long, but then everything after that's 23 minutes. And like I said, it's 8 seasons. It's 76 episodes. I think the first 2 seasons are like 13 and 11. Then there are a bunch of seasons with just 6 or 7, but then the last 2 I think are like 11 each or something like that. So, but 76 episodes at 23 minutes each, or 75 actually. So
I was actually debating jumping back into Rebels, but
I want to keep going with Voltron. I'm like 76 episodes, 23, couple a day. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I like the artwork on it too. Like they even have like, if you look closely at the lions, they're like worn. You could see like the paint peeling off them and stuff as they're flying or they're frozen. And I like the lions. They're like beings. You know, when they're flying through the air, they stop, they freeze, and they're like. It's a lot of fun. I like how they're bonding with their lions and stuff. So pretty cool. And right up our alley, being, grown men.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Cartoons.
I had a conversation the other day with Meg. Me, Jen, and Meg are sitting in the living room talking, and I'm like, Pumpkin, you really realize when you've fully matured is when you realize like you'll never know everything. You get those stages. And we just had this conversation because she's 22 years old. She'll be 23 this year. And you're starting to feel yourself as an adult, and you're like, yeah, I'm starting to get to know the world. I'm like, yeah, you're about 20 years away from knowing.
Yeah.
And that's when you really realize that. So we have this whole conversation. So to end the conversation, we're done talking. I'm like, all right, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to watch Super Friends.
Yeah.
She bursts out laughing and goes, oh yeah, Dad, you're all mature now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm going to watch Super Friends. Doesn't every mature man do that?
Right.
Oh. So, yeah.
They just don't admit it.
No. Not only do we admit it, we broadcast it.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
We tell everybody about it. Yeah. And then get like-minded people to follow us.
Right.
That's
how you just surround yourself with people that are as immature as you are, and you fit right in.
Weren't we talking about Twitter earlier?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, I know. I mean, do not put me on Wall Street. I will not fit in with those people.
I will not fare well.
Yeah. I saw American Psycho. Yeah. I will be a casualty. All right. Is that it? Is that all you have? I don't think I have anything. You know what we've got coming this week? Halo.
Yeah.
Halo. What day does that drop? Thursday?
Thursday,
Is that a Thursday show?
I think it's 25th. It might be Friday.
All right. It's this week, but we'll have that to talk about next week. Kind of excited for that. Maybe a Kryptonite for that. You think?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it depends on how it is.
It looks good.
I think it looks good. Yeah.
I'm a little, I don't know if I'm using this word correctly, but I'm a little dubious on the home theater experience. I'm not sure if it's going to have Atmos.
Paramount Plus?
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is hit and miss, right? Because that stupid show with Kate Beckinsale had Atmos, but Discovery and Picard don't have Atmos. It's like
the show was crap, but it had Atmos. But Picard is awesome, and it doesn't.
Well, and it had Kate Beckinsale. So
yeah, exactly. I know. But remind me to tell you off air another Kaleidoscape bonus.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Kate Beckinsale, that's an off air conversation.
All right.
All right. Is that? Everybody's like, no. Yeah. We need Bright Side After Dark.
Tease.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right. That should wrap it up.
All right.
That should wrap it up for this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we could talk about, but I've just got such a list in front of me of everything I've watched. Hopefully next week isn't as long, but all right. That'll do it for this week. Thank you everybody for listening. If you'd like to contribute contribute to Brightside Mailbag. Get your questions, comments in. And, if you email me or actually if you tweet at me at brightside_chat, or you can email me at brightsidechat@gmail.com, you will get your questions, comments all answered next week. If you reply to at Arkham Comics with an X, it'll be weeks from now.
Could be next month.
It could be next month.
Could be next summer.
Actually, I think there was one from this week that I happened to grab, but you didn't mention it, and I forgot to go under your Twitter to find it. So we will
On my Twitter?
Yep. Somebody commented just to you, and I was like, ooh, this will show up in this week's mailbag, and I forgot to grab it, and I just happened to see it because I was looking on your page. And that was earlier this week.
I don't even know what it is.
Exactly.
I don't know if I've seen it.
So you know what? As soon as we're finished here, I am going to hunt that down, and I will put it in next week's mailbag. And see? And if you really want to get on the show,
yeah,
at Brightside_chat.
Yeah.
Is that Arkham Comics? Has no idea. You can include him in it.
Black hole. Yes.
Right. You can include him in it, and then he will see it. And next week he'll go, oh yeah, I saw that. I remember that day. Or maybe you're medicated and you don't remember that day.
I don't remember it.
So, either way, it's all good. All right, everybody have a great week. John is he's going to be trucking tonight. So have a great week, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Hey, Fred.